Welcome back to My Hero Academia, Anime Review episode 149. Yeah, this one's sadly going to be my last last video for the evening. Purely because of the fact that, there's not much time to do another one. Now, here's the thing. I still technically have 4 more anime to watch. That's One Piece, Don't Do Miss Nagoro, Case Closed, and Boruto. And that's it. Yep, that's basically it. That's all I got left. So I'm basically say that for tomorrow. Now, this episode of My Hero Academia is discussing episode number 127, known as Hellish Hell. This one mostly adapts from one chapter, which is chapter 296, the first 3 pages of chapter 998, and page 8 of chapter 300. I should point out, though, a majority of the episode is a recap of almost the entire arc of the series. Yes, seriously. They recap pretty much everything mostly that was there that was true for the series. But in the case of what was there for new stuff, so they basically show off first in the original footage as not a recap, because about 50% of this episode is stock footage. Now, I get the fact, yes, it's doing with the accent, but I'm like, okay. The part is kind of weird. It's like, oh, we see, this is the page they adapt from chapter 300 is the after effects of the battle, where we see the All Might statue, where it has a sign that says, "I'm not here." And then we also see Redestro. Well, we think it's Redestro. We'll get to more of that in a minute. Where he's assistant over to see the Public Safety Commission. And got brand new products. And it turns out they wanted to arrest him on the spot. Yep, so he basically goes to his stress mode and ends up injuring the chairwoman, throwing the Public Hero Safety Commission into disarray. And I think it was implied, I think I remember reading later on, that the committee was supposedly disbanded, or at least they have they have nothing very much to do with the current stuff. So, excuse me. So immediately afterwards, we see that a lot of the heroes, that of course Deku does mention in the episode, because he's the one who narrated the stuff, he does mention that any work study hero, basically himself, it was basically himself, Shudo, and Bakudo, there's no mention of him at all. I'm not really in the episode, why would you cut out somebody who actually did help you out, Endeavor? Well, yeah. So everyone's hauled away, and then apparently gets a report that apparently a lot of people were arrested. And I do mean a lot of people. Redestro himself, the real one, several lieutenants, including 16,000 people, were arrested with this particular big raid. Over 100, including the League of Villains, got away. The only member of the League of Villains that was captured in this episode was the fact it was revealed Mr. Compress. And it's sadly revealed in this episode that Midnight, along with Majestic and several other heroes, were killed in this episode. Though, in case you're curious, the Mount Lady is not dead. She's still very much alive in the recent stuff. Yes, sadly, we won't get a chance to hear the awesome Liz Maxwell voicing Midnight ever again in the series, because the character is gone. Yes, an absolute great character. Yes. Now, the characters that confirmed are officially dead or heroes are Naive, Crest, Majestic, Exless, and, Midnight. Yeah, but it's sad to see that Midnight herself is no longer around. Yeah, it's sad to see here. The fact that this is her end. So basically, for a character who first appeared back in episode number 9 has now been killed off in the series. I'm not blaming Bones for this. They had nothing to do with this particular trying to kill off Midnight. This is basically the fault of the original writer. Now, she is by far the first, probably the first big name character to die in the series. Yeah, they had some other characters some minor heroes who were just showing up in this particular arc to pass away. But Midnight is the first big hero to pass away. Yeah, first big one that get killed off. And this is something of the fact that, well, the fact that they decided to kill her off here. Because, well, yeah, of course, yeah, Momo and, of course, Pinky and Red Riot mourning over her death. And, of course, you see Majestic. You don't see his body, you see part of his body because he was killed by Giant Machia. At least I'm glad Fat Gum didn't get killed off. Nope, he's still very much alive in the current manga. Oh, my lady who got injured, but I don't think she died. But sad to say, no more of this character. Yeah, it's strange that the fact that also in Bleach, they also kill off a long-run character in that series. Voiced by Katie Higgins, who also voiced in another Viz Media dub, Naruto voiced Sakura. This one is basically Liz Maxwell, who long time voicing Midnight, who is still today my second favorite character she's ever voiced ever in anime. She knows this because I basically gave her a list of my favorite characters she's voiced. And I've really appreciated this character. And it is something though, the fact that nobody told her age, the fact that basically everybody she was a very popular character in universe. I'm not sure how she was out of universe per se, but she's one of my personal favorite characters. Excuse me. It's sad to see her die, but we don't see her damaged. We don't see her beautiful face get damaged. We just see her hand, which, okay, that's fine. It's sad that she had to die, but I guess they want to show the fact there's a lot of big stakes in this one, so they'll kill off probably a pretty popular character like Midnight. I'm sure that the writer himself probably got some flack for her in Japan, but I think killing her off. I didn't really notice this when I did my original review of this chapter. Oh, how long ago? I think it was like just a couple years ago. I think this chapter came out. Excuse me. It was, yeah, it was a little over 2 years ago that the chapter came out that this episode adapted from, and I probably didn't recognize it, but yeah, they confirmed that she died here. So sad to see it. Thank you, Liz Maxwell, for voicing a very good character. But in the case of, like, aside from the many deaths and everybody being hauled away via ambulance, Deku, aside from the narration, does not really speak in the episode. You just see him on a gurney, and that's it. You don't hear the other heroes. Well, we do see Ochako and Froppy. Great to see these two helping out with the aftermath, rescuing people, like rescuing 2 kids. One kid was trapped on this rebel. And then one of the heroes decides to it says, this is too much, and he just quits on the spot. Doesn't want to rescue anybody, just quits because he finds this to be too much. So he quits. And he starts a trend in the aftermath of this particular arc where like half the hero just up and retire because basically of this particular war being such taxing on them. Yeah. I happen to know this because basically I'm reading the manga. But here's kind of something strange though about this. The book that this is collected in, this was the second to most recent book released here in the US. There is another book set to come out next month, but that is that's the second most recent book. I do have the recent book 32, which of course, by the way, I also forgot to mention here, they have a new opening title sequence. I was like, wow, that was surprising. And they show up a character who's going to play a primary role, probably in the final episodes of the season. Yes. Yeah. And who is he, you might ask? Well, it's a character who pretty much appears in the, like, very next arc of the series. Mm-hmm. And in case you're curious, though, what is the name of song is called Bakuno. And this episode is the debut of this one. I'm trying to find her name here. Lady Nagant. Yeah, she's going to make her anime debut pretty soon. Probably with the very next episode. Yeah, with the very next episode, she's going to make her anime debut. And I'm really curious, though. Who's going to voice in the dub? Do I think it's going to be Liz Maxwell? Possibly, but I'm not really sure. It could be anybody. Do I think it want? Do I want to be Liz Maxwell? Yes, because she's a damn good voice actress, and of course she's a very lovely woman person. She's a very lovely woman. But it's all up to Funimation who they decide to cast to voice her. To voice the character Lady Nagant, who makes her anime debut in the very next episode, like I said. So, yeah. Good episode. Love it. Alright, moving on to the news chapter of the manga. This is so we go from sadness to excitement. Where we have La Brabra, where she's back. Like, I remember my days as shut-in. Just for practice, I once went way into good ink server and replaced all the ads with, what was it? Optic Kitty, yeah. The code's functions are really long, the scope is vulnerable and nuts. I gotta see your code habits haven't changed much. That was you? Yes, this is Skeptic. This is so funny. We took a massive hit from that. Oops, my bad. The dump dance? Make it stop. It's so funny. Yeah, Skeptic's like, I won't relinquish UA or the evacuation system. These most accursed ones. You pinpoint my location, haven't you? If you flee, you still lose. The evolution will be doused. Takashi, Skeptic. And of course, the UA basically dropping. And of course, Gentle Criminal basically is there. Yep, he is there. And then we see, well, from a distance, we don't hear him speaking in chapter. We see Deku versus Shigaraki. We see the Law of Pussycats. Along with just them. And they're trying to basically do the best they can to try to save UA. And then we see Gentle Criminal. By the way, we see appearance here by Miss Joke. Haven't seen her in a while. Along with few other characters. And of course, well, Gentle Criminal basically does his best to basically help save UA. He says, naturally, at least I owe the boy. Yeah, he probably was a favor for basically changing his life. And then apparently go flashback of like, how did he get here? Because last time anybody saw him, he was in custody. So about a month and a half ago at Mizuka prison, after they saw Tartarus. So it was a massive breakout at this prison. Gentle Criminal basically stopped them. Yeah, he stopped them. He basically stopped every criminal by himself. And basically his prison was the only one, basically. And of course the guard's like, what do you want, Timidia? I only wish to your brother too. And she's like, I'm greedy and stubborn comes. Your joy brings me loads. More gentle. Here's the strange thing about Gentle Criminal. Despite the fact he looked like an older guy with white hair, he's actually in his late 20s. Yeah. And we have Gently Super Lover, where he ends up basically using his power to basically, well. And of course, I look like Deku probably knows about it. What? An air trampoline. Must be gentle. And of course, like, bad news. And of course, so actually, now he speaks. I forgot it. Yeah. So, we can close in the chapter. And of course, Brown prays from a friend. Deep within the heart to find the strength to their origin. And we see the return of Lady Nagant. Yes, I just mentioned her, and look, there she is, Lady Nagant. And of course, reveal the actual chapter title, which is The Story of How We All Became Heroes, Part 4. Yes, and great to see Lady Nagant again. Yeah, she's not been seen in quite a while. Like, oh my gosh, she's not been seen since the Tartarus Escapees arc. Yeah, which, by the way, that was the very next arc. Because that arc officially wrapped up with chapter 328. Yeah, that's where officially it wrapped up. because she was last seen in that chapter there. Let's see her. She was last seen back in chapter 317. I'm like, okay. Yeah, that was basically about 2 years ago. And here she is back. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it's absolutely great to see her again. So basically, you have two former villains. Well, two people who fought Deku are now basically on his side as his allies, which is so awesome. Love this chapter. I'm gonna give it a 10 out of 10 because it's great to see return of not only like Flash Chat's return of La Brabra. This chapter, Get the Criminal, and Lady Nagant. Great. Makes you so excited for the very next chapter because it feels like it's been a while since basically I've just been so excited about this series because it's been okay, pretty decent, and now we're getting excitement happening here. Return of like characters I feel are really good, but excuse me, I am really looking forward to seeing what they're going to do with Lady Nage in the anime because next episode is going to be anime debut, so I'm looking forward to it. Yep, so yeah, that's going to be pretty much it, particular view. So tomorrow, definitely will be some Super Sentai tomorrow, along with hopefully reviews for One Piece, Don't Tell Me It's Nagaro, Case Closed, and Boruto. Hopefully. 4 anime. So hopefully about 5 videos tomorrow. I'd be lucky if I get done 3. Okay? Next video. Bye.